All right, you guys, it's another week, so that means it's another weekly recap. And today we have a few things to talk about. Not a ton, but we have some things to get into, some things that have switched up and made the WrestleMania picture a little more interesting. So let's dive right into it. All right, so let's talk about SmackDown. And to be honest with you, I did not watch SmackDown live. I just wasn't feeling it. Some days you're like that, you just weren't feeling it. I wasn't feeling it on Friday, so I did not watch SmackDown live. I did catch the highlights, the recap of the show. And to be honest with you, I feel like there wasn't much that happened besides the main event, which we knew was going to be the focus of the entire show, anyways. The one thing that I will say is I don't understand why Julia is being pinned in this like tag division and not defending her title. I don't understand WWE's thought process on that at all because we have a lot of strong, talented tag team partners right now in the women's division. It is much stronger than the men, and honestly, the creative there is much stronger. So we don't need Julia there. I don't know if that's just where they feel like right now is the best fit because they don't know where to put Kiana if they split them. I really don't know why that is the way it is. But we don't need Julia there. So we need her defending the title that she's holding on to. And I feel like that title really has become irrelevant. Like, I don't even think people think about it. Some points I catch myself even like forgetting that it exists. So if there's one like critique that I would give the WWE, it's that they need to get Julia out of this tag division with Kiana and put her in the scene for fighting and defending this title and give her some great opponents. And honestly, like they could really play this out to where she goes against Kiana. Kiana has impressed time and time again. She impressed in the Royal Rumble, she impressed in Elimination Chamber. So why not give Julia her as an opponent? It's an easy layup. Like you can easily break that duo up, have one of them turn on the other, and there's a strong storyline for Julia and this title to make it become relevant again because right now it's irrelevant. The men's tag team is also kind of a mess. I just don't feel like there's a whole lot of substance there. And I feel like that on both brands, Raw and SmackDown. And it's not because of the tag teams themselves, it's just because there's not been a whole lot of creative. Damian Priest and R-Truth did tag and they became the number one contenders. However, we did see the MFTs cost the Wyatt Six. So it seems to be like we are continuing that feud. Honestly, I'm kind of over that feud. I think that should have been done, squashed when Solo faced Uncle Howdy. I think it should have been over then. I just don't know where else you're going to go with this dynamic. Like, we've already fought numerous times, and I don't know where we're going from here. But obviously, it's something that's still on the card because the MFTs and the Wyatt Six can't stay away from each other. Um, so we'll see where that goes, but I am excited to see Damian Priest and R-Truth as the number one contenders. I know this is kind of a random, like pieced together tag team, but they have a lot of history together. When they were in the Judgment Day together, because R-Truth was a member of the Judgment Day. I don't care what y'all say. They worked really well together, so I do think that this is a cool move. It does give us a little time to see where this tag division is going. And to really kind of see what's going to happen, I guess, with the Wyatt Six and the MFTs. And it kind of is that nice, like, I don't want to say layup because Damian Priest and R-Truth definitely aren't layups, but they're not at the moment a WrestleMania tag team match. So it kind of gives like a little buffer in between for us to really kind of get something going there because I feel like that's what they need. And then, of course, we had the main event, Cody and Drew, and I'm not surprised by this outcome at all. I saw so much going on social media regarding this match where people were happy, where people were upset. There was a lot of drama going on. I'm not surprised by the outcome. I feel like we should have all just I feel like we should have all just prepared ourselves. Like, we knew that this was going to happen. The minute Nick Aldis announced that he was making this match, I knew it was going to happen. The only way Cody did not get that belt on Friday night was if they did a fatal four way. That didn't seem to be in the cards. They seem to be stuck on this Cody Randy match, which is going to be a great match. Don't get me wrong. And a little while ago, I was like, this is the match that I want to see. However, we kind of like were on that train, and then the WWE like derailed, and we went off, and we have all these other people in the mix, and then we're gonna like pivot back to it, and it feels a little off to me. Because we had so much going on in between from when we originally started this to now, and it doesn't seem to piece together fully. Now, what I will say is this match is going to be fantastic. Cody and Randy are both great competitors. It is going to be a very good and got a WrestleMania star power match. I'm interested to see where they go with Drew after this. I feel like that he's probably going to face Jacob. That makes the most sense because he's been beefing with him a lot. Jacob's cost him, Drew's cost Jacob. It's been back and forth, so I feel like that makes the most sense. But I will say, if I'm Drew, I would be a little butthurt. I would be honestly a little upset because you were this close to a WrestleMania moment just for them to take it away from you and give the title to somebody that has already had it. Somebody that lost that title. Somebody that lost Royal Rumble. Somebody that lost Elimination Chamber. So this man lost all of these things and somehow still gets a main event at WrestleMania. So if I was Drew, I would be upset. But I am not surprised as a fan watching this that that's what they did. It felt like ever since they it just felt like ever since Randy won, this is what they wanted to do. Ever since Randy was even in the discussion of winning, this is what they wanted to do. So I'm not surprised. It'll be a good match. I do feel like it's a little bit of an asterisk because Cody lost all those things and still somehow got the belt back. But I also feel like that with Drew McIntyre being a menace to everybody and getting in everybody's business, sometimes karma does come around and bite you. And unfortunately, that karma, his name was Cody. So I think that a lot of people had a lot of opinions on this, but the one opinion that should not change is the fact that we were surprised. We were not surprised. We knew this was going to happen. And at the end of the day, I do think it's going to be a great match for WrestleMania. But I will say, if I am Drew McIntyre, I'd be a little salty. So we move on to Raw now. And to be honest with you, Raw was a decent show, but I don't feel like anything substantial happened. Which honestly surprises me because we don't have very many left until we get to WrestleMania. WrestleMania is like 5 weeks away, which is not a lot of time. And so I felt like there was going to be a lot more to happen. But with that being said, I will say that I do think Raw is in a better place than the SmackDown as far as WrestleMania build because we've got CM Punk and we've got Roman Reigns. We have the Liv Morgan Stephanie storyline, and that storyline has been built and built, and it's going on. We are obviously going to get Finn versus Dom, and we'll talk about that and all that stuff that went down. So I do feel like the Raw roster as a whole is in a better spot than the SmackDown roster as a whole. So I think that we are cooking there. We started off Raw with Seth and his 95 students, all in mask. Seth's always ahead of the game. Logan Paul and Austin Theory, I just want to prepare you. Seth is always ahead of the game. He's always going to be one step ahead of you. He thinks smarter. And so the fact that he brought all of his little minions out to cause an illusion so that you couldn't get to him, that's just Seth Rollins. Like, that's what he does. I'm interested to see where they go with this because I thought that Theory and um, Logan would be a tag team against the Usos for WrestleMania. That kind of seemed to be where they're pivoting. But then where does that leave Seth? Does he not have a match at WrestleMania, or does he like cause interference only? Like, I don't know where that goes, and I'm wondering because we don't know Braun Breaker's like time frame. We know that they said it could be this to this, and we don't really know. I'm wondering if maybe they're holding out hope that Braun Breaker can return for WrestleMania, or if they're just not sure where to plug in Seth yet because of all of the injuries. But either way, I think it's going to set up an interesting picture. If it is Logan and Austin versus the Usos, that will be a really good match, honestly, because Logan and Jay has worked together a lot, so they have the chemistry there. But Austin and Logan as a tag team seem to be like slowly getting their chemistry. Logan's a high flyer, say what you want about the kid, he is an athlete. So that one would be a good WrestleMania match. But if we also get one of them, which I think is going to be Logan. He seems kind of have been the leader since everybody else went down. And we get Logan versus Seth. I also think that that could be a really good match because, again, you have like the high flying athletic ability in Logan versus Seth, who is very, very smart and meticulous and really just thinks before he acts. And so that combination could be very interesting for a WrestleMania match, whichever way they go. We had last night the number one contenders match for AJ Lee's title, and honestly, we did not know if this was going to be a match that happens in 2 weeks, a match that happens at WrestleMania. We did not know when this match was going to happen. We just knew that whoever won this match was going to go on to face AJ Lee, and we found out after the winner was crowned that it will be next week. So that's a very fast turnaround, and I'm kind of interested by it to see if that's part of building AJ's storyline for her opponent at WrestleMania. But we had Bayley win, and I think she definitely deserves this. I think after getting her WrestleMania spot taken from her last year, she was kind of then thrown into the tag title division, which she did really well in. And then she just kind of was like almost forgotten about. She was taken out of that like main title picture. I think that this was a good choice by them. I think she deserves it, but I also think the fact that her and AJ have such great chemistry on like out of the ring and in the ring, I think that this one will be a very great match, and I think it will set up whoever's going to be AJ Lee's opponent. I think whoever that's going to be will make an appearance somehow next week, whether it be Bayley, whether it be Becky again, or whoever might be in that contention. I think we're definitely going to get that storyline to start next week. What I will say is Raquel Rodriguez was again costed her spot by Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan came out to help Raquel. Stephanie then came out to attack Liv. And while Raquel was watching all that going on, being distracted by Liv, she got pinned. And she seems to just be taking these things very lightly. But I feel like this is like a volcano where a little bit at a time it keeps rising and rising and then it's going to explode. And we've seen that with Finn and Dom. And last night that volcano exploded. Dom came out to the ring, called Finn out, basically told him that if it wasn't for him, like if he had done his job, Dom would still be champion. And Finn basically looked at him and said, "You're a spoiled prick." And that caused the breakup that we have been waiting for, because we have been waiting for Finn and Dom to break up. What I will say is a lot of people were surprised that JD came in and kind of attacked Finn and went against him. I am not. JD is a follower and he will follow whoever has the power and the numbers. And at this moment, that's Dom, Raquel, and Liv. So JD followed those people and he's going to come out and say, like, I followed them because they're my family. That's not true. JD followed them because he knew that they had the power and the numbers. But I don't think this storyline is over at all. I think it's actually very far from over. We're gonna get Finn and Dom at WrestleMania for sure. I don't know if it will be for the belt or if it won't be for the belt, but we're getting them at WrestleMania. My question is, how do the rest of the dominoes fall now that Finn and Dom have broken up? Because we have Raquel, who is going to continue to get sick of Liv Morgan. Let's be honest. She's going to get sick of Liv costing her. Liv's back in the main title picture when Raquel should have been there. We have Dom, who currently is not holding his title that he had. So I feel like there's so many dominoes to fall, and then we have Roxanne, and I don't know what Roxanne's recovery looks like. I don't know what her time frame looks like, but she's also still in that picture. So I think long term, the ultimate goal is for Liv and Raquel to face each other for the title. But how do we get there? Because we have to have some kind of breakup. So in these next few weeks, does Raquel say, you know what, Finn was right? Or do we get like a major moment at WrestleMania where Raquel costs Liv, Liv gets a rematch, Liv wins, and then Liv and Raquel? I'm not sure what the long term picture looks like, but I feel like that is definitely our long term goal is Liv versus Raquel, and I think that one is going to be a great match because they are super close. They have a lot of chemistry. They've been working together for years now. They know the ins and outs of each other, and so I think that's going to be a fantastic match whenever we get there. But I'm interested to see how all of these dominoes fall now because I feel like right now I'm in my mind I think we're getting Liv and Dom for sure, but I feel like Raquel is going to get fed up and she's going to switch to that Finn side. And so we're going to almost have like Raquel and Finn and Liv and Dom, and then JD's just going to be stuck in the middle because honestly, I don't know what you do with him right now. He could face Penta, I guess, for the IC title, but then Dom's not going to be too pleased about that because that's Dom's title. So I feel like JD's kind of just stuck there. I'm not sure what we're going to do with him, and I'm not sure if they know just yet. And I think that's why JD stayed with the numbers because they're not sure where to place him at the moment. But the breakup finally happened, and honestly, I think the entire Judgment Day should just be demolished. I think that Liv and Dom should stay Liv and Dom because they do great together. They are a fan favorite. They sell a lot of merch. They sell a lot of tickets. But I think the rest of them should just go out on their own. Finn's a great singles competitor. Raquel's a great singles competitor. I think that they have very high star power and should just get rid of this group because it's been going on since 1995 at this moment. And then we close the show with the Usos confronting CM Punk regarding CM Punk bringing up their late uncle. And I liked this segment, but I don't know why. I guess I don't know if like maybe this was just because Roman couldn't like wasn't gonna be there, so they wanted somebody to come in and keep that heat on Punk, or if it's because we're going to get the bloodline back. Like, I don't really know why the Usos had to be involved. And I get it, it's family. Respect family. They're huge on family. So that makes sense. That goes with their whole personality. But Punk was not wrong when Punk said that Roman has really kind of mistreated them, has, belittled them, has treated them like his little minions. Like, Punk wasn't wrong there. And to have Jay go out and be a champion and do his own thing, and then have them come back together and be title tag champions, it feels a little weird to put them back with Roman kind of in his shadow. So I don't know what the purpose of the segment was. It was a good segment. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. The tribal chief does return next week, so that will be interesting. But I feel like maybe this was just to continue to add fire to this Roman Punk promo when Roman's not there. Either way, it was good. I'm super excited for this match. It's probably the one I'm most excited for on the WrestleMania card. Um, I think it's going to be the best. And I might be surprised, but I think it's absolutely going to be the best. So, anyways, that's really what all happened. That was the main topics that happened. We had Danhausen cursing people again, which if he takes requests, I have a few requests that I could put in. But I think that we are doing a slow build to WrestleMania, but I think we have a solid core, and I think that that's the most important part is to have a solid core and slow build the rest of it. So I'm interested to see as the weeks continue what we continue to get on the match card and what they continue to do each week on these shows. But as always, subscribe, like, comment, follow me on all socials, and I'll see you guys next week.